Moves on now to take on the top seed, a lady that averaged 8 pins higher than her nearest pursuer this week, Dede Davidson.
Well, we talked about the opening match being for the title in the 1990 U.S. Open. This match right here was the opening match in the U.S. Open. So these two players have met prior to this, and Aleta Sill won that match. She defeated Dede 191 to 180, and it was in their hometown of Detroit, Michigan.
Two very good friends, two players that are very familiar with each other's games, both physically and mentally. That's very important to note.
They used to be roommates out here on tour, and a lot of times when you room with another player, they will help you practice and help you with possibly some problems that you might be having in your game, and you happen to learn each other's game.
And you also know when one is confident, when one isn't. Obviously, Dede wiping off the perspiration for the opening spare. I think that pretty much sums up the relationship right there. Aleta undefeated against her former roommate.
Well, Dede Davidson having 2 titles versus Aleta Sill with 16 titles. So you might feel that Dede has looked up to Aleta and her accomplishments. She's been out here 3 years longer than Dede.
Very talented performer. Player, when she locks in, zeroes in, is able to repeat and execute, regardless of whether it's the first game of the event or the championship game.
Always been very tough in the championship game as well.
And she opens up with nearly a double. Had the 9-pin for a while, and Aleta had mentioned to me, I left more 7-9s this week than I care to think about. Almost left one there.
A lot of 8-10s left by the right-handers, as well as 5-7s in those pocket splits. That's what happens when the ball does not drive very hard in the back end. It's just not finishing quite hard enough. A lot of conditioner carried down to the pin decks.
A little silent prayer at the foul line on 19. A deep breath, a sigh, and a spare in the second for Aleta Sill.
Aleta might have wanted to bring Tish Johnson in for her spare shooting, possibly this game, if she would have opened up.
We have to note that Tish blew the spare patch by doubling in the 10th frame, but I think she's probably already got one of those, so that's probably why. Meanwhile, back in the championship game, only now the 3-pin.
It's been a long wait for Dede, as she's been waiting in the wings for almost an hour. When a player's not used to leading tournaments or has not done it too often. She has led 4 tournaments. She has won 2 titles out of those 4 times that she has been the top seed.
Wow. Well, Mark Rea, a happy Pro-Am winner, and Dominic Fazio, one of the co-owners here at Fazio's Rainbow Lanes, providing the check and a beautiful trophy to boot.
Well, the winner of the professional portion of this event is going to receive a 7-foot trophy. And we were talking about earlier, it's going to be fun trying to get that thing home.
Mm-hmm. Gonna have to buy it a seat on the airline. Oh, you better have yourself a pretty good-sized van.
There you go.
Missing the head pin left, 1-3. And right now, Dede Davidson almost a Tish Johnson lookalike in terms of trying to figure out the proper speed and angle to strike.
Dede having quite a bit more speed than Aleta, and she might need to slow up a little bit here if she finds that she's sailing the ball off to the left a little bit too often. She needs to take her time, slow down, and give the ball time to react.
Dede drilled up a fresh piece of equipment just for the telecast, as a lot of the players do. On the other side of that coin, you see the ball that Aleta Sill is wiping off? She's used that ball for every game of the entire tournament, and she told me she cannot remember if she has ever done that before on the Pro Tour, use one ball from start to finish.
Well, what's happened probably with Aleta is the fact that she used her softest ball, or the ball that has hooked the most throughout the whole event, and she felt like there wasn't anything that she wanted to go to or drill up that might hook anymore. Plus, she had a very consistent tournament. She was right there the whole time.
A little tape work being done now by Dede Davidson, trying to get the thumb hole to fit snugly, properly. It's an ongoing process. See, really, if Manute Bol were to stand next to that, he would still be 6 inches taller.
It doesn't quite look 7 feet there, but it is. It's almost $1,000 a foot there for the winner.
Or see, if like Brad Doherty, who is 7 feet tall, he would be exactly that size. So that gives you a better idea. Or if Leila Wagner were to stand up next to that, you'd have to put her on a chair, and then she would be as tall, right?
There you go.
Good shot by Aleta Sill, who shows a little emotion in the 4th frame. Don't see that very often.
And we were talking about Dede cutting the tape. She just applied it in the back of the thumb hole. And Aleta can get pretty fierce when it gets down to the nitty-gritty.
Down by 2 pins. Time to at least start hitting the pocket for Dede Davidson. Leaves the baby split. Not what you want to do in this situation.
Well, the opposite of lane 19. It appears she tried to make some type of adjustment. She did by putting the tape in the thumb hole. She didn't want to sail it to the left. Therefore, she tried to go up and at him a little bit too much. She wants to put the ball right between the 2 and the 7. Perfect. Oh, it appeared it was going to hook back, but it did not make it.
So the first open frame in the championship game coming in the 4th for Dede Davidson, who now trails Aleta Sill by 15.
From our angle, I thought she was going to nick that